I am a 30-year-old man and I am deeply hurt. I recently made my mom run away with me from my father because the other day I visited their home and it was like any other day and I heard some commotion going on in their room. A little yelling followed by a loud. I, at first, wasn't thinking anything of it. And then my father, he walked out the room. Me and him never really had a good relationship. He just walked right by me, didn't speak to me, didn't say hey, and it was normal. It was normal for him to do that. I look in the room, my mom's on the side of the bed. She's holding her arm, whimpering, trying not to make any noise. I walk up to her and I say, hey, is everything okay? Then she says, I'm all right. Which she always says. She always says, I'm all right. I said, listen, Mom, if there's something going on, you need to tell me. You need to tell me so I can help. And she just said, I'm all right. And I just stayed there, pestering her, begging her, Mom, what's going on? Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. And she said, it's been going on for years. Basically, whenever he gets angry, he gets physical. But behind closed doors where it's just them two. And never in the face, so no bruises. But my dad always had a strict program, basically. We had to eat at a certain time, go to bed at a certain time. TV could never be past a certain volume. Things like that. And my mom, I thought all this time, she just adjusted to that lifestyle. But turns out, behind closed doors, this is what's going on. And I thought about all the time in my childhood where I thought things were normal, where I thought mom was just quiet. And this has been what has been happening. I told her we need to leave. And she said, no, it's okay. And I said, I cannot let you stay here knowing this is what's going on. I'm taking you away from this. We packed her bag and we left. We left and I drove 4 hours away to an Airbnb. Asked for leave from my job until I could figure this out. We stayed in the Airbnb and the whole time she apologized. She apologized for the volume on the TV. She apologized for crying about her relationship. She apologized for not having food at a certain time. And I said, Mom, look, it's okay. You don't have to do all this apologizing. If anybody's sorry, it's me. It's me for not even realizing. My sister, she's on my dad's side. She's always been a daddy's girl. She's always been the favorite. The only one in the house who he probably truly treated like he loved. So I was trying to figure out a plan to help my mom. I had been saving up to buy me a house. I've been staying in an apartment. And I thought, you know what? This is the time I'll move me and my mom in a house. She can finally be happy, be free, watch the TV at any volume she wants, eat whenever she wants, cry, laugh if she wants to. She can finally be free. And I started seeing that while we was at the Airbnb. I started seeing her be a little bit happier, freer. And you know what happened? 2 weeks. 2 weeks after I took her away from my dad, she died. She died. I came to the Airbnb and that morning started off so normal. She was talking about how the eggs tasted a little funny and how the coffee was hard to get down. And I said, it's all right. Well, it's just early. It might be a little digestive issues. And I said, I'll go out for a bit, run some errands and come back. When I came back, she was holding her chest. And I said, Mom, are you okay? And she said, she was all right. Food was just, taking a while to get down. And that she was going to be okay. But I didn't believe her and I called the ambulance. And while the ambulance was on the way, she went unresponsive. And I tried to give her CPR, but she was gone. She was gone. She had a heart attack. And I keep thinking, what if I got her away from my dad years ago? What if I never took her? What if this is in response of finally being free, she didn't know how to feel without watching out for the next hit. What? And I've kind of been lost because she passed away yesterday. And they called the next of kin, which is my dad, because I've kind of just been in the fog. And he set up the arrangements for a funeral and answered all the questions, did all the medical stuff. And I just been a blur. And he blamed me. He blamed me for taking her. And I think about it. And the only thing that keeps me sane is seeing her those few days, actually being happy, being free, knowing that she didn't have to be worried about what was coming next. And all my sister did was send me a text message saying, sorry for your loss. And I'm stuck here grieving, not quite knowing what to do.